Okay.
Oh, well, we are back.
Yeah,
it's
good to be back.
Day.
Yes.
No, it's not a solemn day. It's just I am exhausted.
Exhausted.
How are you
it's
doing?
hot out. I'm good.
It's so hot out. I'm not ready for this, honestly.
Yeah.
It was
This
good
weather.
a month ago when it was just like a nice breeze. You needed a jacket. You were adjusting. Now it's just...
Yeah, now it's
we're all dying inside, you know?
Yeah, we're dying inside as we die outside. It's too muggy. That's my problem. Which is everyone's problem at the end of the day.
You just
especially if
you feel like you need 2 showers
hair.
a day. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a disaster. It's a disaster.
But you know what? You remember when we were in Thailand? Like that was 10 times worse. Do you remember?
Bangkok?
Bangkok.
Yeah.
Like I would take a freezing cold shower and not even care.
Well, that was also crazy. Oh, I remember that. Like, yeah, you know, it's got to be bad if you're like clamming for a cold shower,
Yeah,
you know?
You're like ready for it. Like ice bath, what?
Yeah.
like
give it to me right now. Freezing cold shower, yes. I also remember there was like, we lost our luggage, right? Or we didn't have, they lost our luggage. We lost our luggage. They did not, we didn't get our luggage. Yeah. So we had to like buy clothes and wear the same underwear we had on the plane for the past like hours and hours. So it was like on top of that, you just felt inhumane. Like it just felt wrong.
It's speaking about inhumane.
And it smells so bad too. So it's just like unpleasant is what I would call that experience.
It was really bad. I don't think we had like washing machines, but we had to wear those outfits for like 2 days straight until we found it.
We had to sleep in the same thing and like.
Oh my god!
There was a communal shower too because we wanted to spend as little money as possible, so we found the cheapest hostel and like didn't really clean ourselves.
We'll never know.
Yes,
traveling.
Yeah.
No, when you said inhumane, you reminded me. Did you read The Choice?
Yeah.
Started reading it over Shabbos. It's really interesting.
It is. Yeah.
And it's just crazy the inhumanity of the Holocaust, which is like so not like a hot
like
take
every time
or
you
breaking
read
news, but like it reminds you,
exactly. Every time you read a Holocaust book or just get confronted with the Holocaust, you're just like, wow, I can't believe this actually happened, and like humans went through something like this.
And like when you're younger, you're taught, especially as Jews, we're taught the Holocaust like pretty early on, but like you're never really. I feel like I was never really like so. I don't know. Like now that a little bit older, I can understand how much of a horror it can be. Like she's describing how she's in line with her mother and then they just send her mother to the left and she's like, oh, maybe her mother went to like a better place, whatever. And then like this lady's like, your mother's burning over there in those chimneys.
I
and
remember
it's like,
that.
Whoa, like,
that's like the end of the chapter, right?
Maybe I don't remember if it was the end of the chapter, but it was like it's more in the beginning of the book.
Yeah,
but it's just like now that you're older, you can really like imagine what that would be like. Yeah, in a way, more than when you're like younger and you're like,
oh, totally. Yeah. It's way easier to empathize and put yourself in that position.
Exactly.
Even if that's why. Oh, for sure. I find it much harder to like interact with certain forms of media that are a lot harrowing or like emotionally impactful because if you have empathy and compassion, you end up doing that automatically. You end up being like, what would it be like if I were that?
And that is like the general idea of like empathy is like the more you experience in life, the more you can feel empathy because you can understand where other people are coming from.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're just like sheltered in your little box, then it's like, how can someone do that? Oh, what does it even mean to go through something like that? Like I've never experienced, but like when you're out there in the world and you're going through struggles, you're going through ups and downs, you see somebody else going through the same struggle and you don't pin it on like, oh, that's probably their fault or they're crazy.
Not even, absolutely. And not even if they're going through something that you've gone through
right, necessarily. It's just in general.
It's a general like openness to the fact that human beings have at the core have the same life experience as you. That's going to go up and down and there's going to be pain. And no matter what they're going through, like, you know those emotions and it's something you also know with.
Like the feeling of like being misunderstood and so you see somebody else being misunderstood and you're like, wait, like maybe let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they, you know, you just see things from a more like,
but let me just say though, nuanced
nuance is a good word.
Nuance is like my favorite word.
Like there's nothing to describe, there's no other word to describe it. Like,
absolutely,
just see things in nuance.
Words fail like absolutely all the time, which is an experience I actually had to like come to like accept because I'm a writer at my core, and so words are so important to me, and like vocabulary and being able to express exactly what it is through like the right medium of words. But like words don't actually do a lot of things justice, so I think it fails, which is where art can like come in and explain things. But nuance is a word that works.
It's one word.
It works.
Totally.
It works. But I just wanted to like shout out of appreciation for like you, I guess, because not necessarily going through painful experiences give you or make you end up in a place where you're more compassionate and empathetic. That's if you're doing it right, but not aiming to be right. If you're taking it with grace and you're becoming more wisdomful, which is what life is about, then you become those things. Right. But like many times you don't end up like
many
that.
times people just become jaded and like resentful to the entire world. Yeah. So I guess it can go both ways.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
I've seen those kinds of people too.
I wonder what's like the differentiating factor between the two. Maybe it's like the way you're raised.
I don't know. Like a deep awareness and I mean, you know it when you see it. A good person. Is that like but that might be too much to say it's like a good person, but it's someone who like I think takes like the seriousness of life.
Do you think people are born bad or good or just like neutral?
Oh man. Are they born bad or good? I think it's so complex.
Yeah, like either people are born good and then are just like corrupted by, either the way their parents are raising them or like the surroundings, society's like expectations or culture, or people are born good, or people are born like selfish and bad and then like they're taught to be good.
I think like,
or is that the same
we
thing?
have like innate like desires or inclinations, but we associate bad or good to those things. And so bad and good, like morality is just, it's actually so hard to define and to place on. So for instance, we all have a drive to procreate, whether you're a man or a female. Is that a bad or good thing? I don't know. It's just innate. It's the naturalistic fallacy. Like don't fall into that just because something is natural makes it bad or good.
Right.
But there are certain like lines that I think like, okay, I don't think we're born with the inclination to want to kill. I think we're born with the inclination to want to connect to human beings. So like those things.
Right. And that we associate with good. Connecting with people and
bad, killing. And like those are pretty implicit. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't think, I think you're hard pressed to find someone who's like killing is actually a good thing. But it depends, right? Like on the scenario. Like, do you want to kill Nazis?
Right.
Probably. That's a good thing,
kill
right?
Hitler. I saw this like Instagram reel where they're like, they have it. This guy's like, I can't believe you built this time machine. He's like, yeah, where do you want to go back to? And he's like, I'll go kill like Hitler. He's like, you're gonna go kill Hitler? Like, how are you gonna stand up to him? He's like, I'll go kill baby Hitler. And he's like, yeah, you're gonna be able to do that? And he's like, yeah. He goes out and he like comes back and he's like, I killed him. That's it. And then they walk out and they show like a video from, I think it was like in Borough Park or something, and it's like all the Jews and they're like, whoa, like basically what their effect did.
Wait, what?
Like they killed Hitler, so like, and then they showed a video of like some like really heavily populated place with like Hasidic Jews.
Right. So you're saying like it became the world?
Yeah, like everyone's like Jewish now. Like there's like tons more. Oh
god damn it! Is that like super anti-Semitic? I don't know.
I mean, I just took it in a comedic way, but yeah, I guess it could be like anti-Semitic. I don't know.
Yeah, like next thing you know, the world is filled with ultra-Orthodox Hasidim. Because like, maybe we actually shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Underpinnings may have been, but I don't know. I don't ever really think about it because it's so like unapplicable. But like, would I go back in time and kill baby Hitler?
Obviously, I don't.
But it's a fun philosophical question to play with, maybe.
Oh yeah, people say like you would take baby Hitler and raise him right. Just kill him.
just murder the damn child. I mean, it's a child.
I mean, also like you don't know what. I mean, actually, never mind. I was gonna say like you don't know what like effects you're doing. Like what would the world would look so different today if a Hitler didn't exist? You know?
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. You're saving a whole genocide from happening. So like,
yeah. I mean, that still remains. Like I guess what people. Yeah, it's like okay, the ability to save like 6 million Jews and more, and all the other. Yeah, it's like. Not even a question. But it's also interesting to think about, like, I don't know, would someone else have, like, also taken Germany on such a route? I don't know if they would be taken on the anti-Semitic route, because I think Hitler had, like, a specific fixation on the Jews. But, like, I think that they were on the route to something hateful and something bad, you know?
Right.
Because of, like, where they were historically and economically and politically. I don't know though, but like yes, if baby Hitler was right here,
and we're like preventing, I just feel like there's like also there's so many like maybe people who live now wouldn't exist because their grandparents would still be together and they wouldn't meet someone. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole thing is like a ripple effect.
We might not exist.
Right.
Like we might be having the Marvel like experience of just disintegrating into the air.
Dust, yeah.
Yeah. Because absolutely we have like no idea how the world would have turned out. Did you watch a new Spider-Man movie?
No.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
Yeah,
okay.
You told me you would see it with me and then she went to see it with somebody else. So
okay, you don't have to out me like that.
Yeah, like I'm outing Kaya right now.
That is not true. It's not true.
So is it that similar, like where they changed history?
Okay, so this isn't really a spoiler, but if you didn't watch it and you want to watch it and you don't want to know anything about it, just I guess skip over this part. But I think I've told you about it also. There's like this part in the movie where it explains that there's a canon event. And canon events are like these things that have to happen in your life and they connect us all, and they are like integral learning turning points in your own personal life. So it's a kind of tried and true like lesson that a lot of like kids riding a bicycle and falling off and scraping their knee and learning how to get back up again. Right. Something that we've all been through, but you have to have in your life. And so I'm just like, yeah, like they explained that these things are so connected in like in such a deep way with like the earth and like the human beings, that like everything is so connected that you can't, if you rip one canon event, everything just everything disintegrates. So it's like, it's not that, it's like the micro things are actually really important, you know? Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Like if like the foundation of something, you pull one thing out, the whole thing tumbles.
Yeah. What's a canon event in your life?
Like is like that's something that like changed me forever?
Yeah, like a turning point in your life where you became like a new person from that point. Or like started integrating a new self. That's a hard question.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, like a big moment in your life. Maybe in seminary when you realized, hey, Chaya is so cool and she's my best friend. From that moment on, we were friends before that. Yeah. From that moment
I'm like trying to calculate. I'm like, yeah, well, we're friends in high school.
I don't know. Just like,
like, do you have something in mind? It's like hard to pinpoint one, but I'm sure like there's something in my childhood that like
definitely
formed who I am.
There was this moment in my childhood. I don't know exactly what it taught me, but there was this lady. She came every week to my house, or not every week, every couple of weeks, and she brought a bag of alfalfa sprouts that she grew in her backyard. I was like very young and I don't have a good memory of my childhood, but I remember she brought these alfalfa sprouts every week. And it just like, I feel like that's when I gained consciousness with this bag of alfalfa sprouts.
So what is alfalfa sprouts? I've never heard that in my life.
But you've seen alfalfa sprouts.
What are they? Are they like snap peas?
No, they're like these really thin like sprouts. It looks like weed. No, not like weed, like smoking weed, like weeds from the floor.
Yeah, oh, okay.
They're really healthy.
Interesting.
You have them in a salad.
Maybe like that. First of all, that reminded me that as kids we used to have this person who would just like it's just such a random memory. Like in my Chabad house, they would send us like all this vitamin water. Maybe he was the owner of vitamin water. I'm not sure. He would just send boxes and boxes of vitamin water, so we always had vitamin water.
Right? Like you always have these weird stories.
Only Chabad houses, but maybe like the fact that like I was like a little bit bullied in as a kid. Maybe that like formed who I am. Like what would it be like if I didn't?
Yeah.
I for sure would be a different person.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everything in your life leads up to the person you are today. Yeah.
All right. Should we get into
our topic?
Our topic.
Yeah. What story do you have?
No, what you have.
Oh, I mean, I definitely wanted to address the thing that's been in the news. I think it's a little bit dying down at this point, but I know that there were 2 Orthodox women who got married.
Yeah. And
there's been a lot of reception, some good, some bad, and I just wanted to like address it a little bit. And I know it's a sensitive topic, but I still think that it would be nice if you're in support of them to, say that to voice that you're in support of them, because
and to give background, like this is not something that happens in the religious community. I think this is like the first time anyone has ever seen something like this, where it's 2 religious girls and they're having like so to speak, a religious wedding. I mean, obviously it's not like a wedding by the Bible because it's not considered a wedding, but like everyone there is like dressed like in the dress code that like women dress in this community, and like it was very interesting to see and very new for people. So
yeah, I definitely don't think it's like the first time it's ever happened, but like it definitely
Like two religious girls that are like still religious.
Yeah, I'm sure that it's happened before.
But I guess publicly that it became like.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why this was so outrageous specifically. Maybe because it gained like notoriety over like WhatsApp, because that's like the Jewish form of like Facebook or something.
When you see like forwhed many times, like,
oh my God,
be scared.
It's been everywhere. Like Carroll Street, President Street, Montgomery. Like
literally. It's the Chabad house in like Atlanta. Yes. All over the world. But yeah, I think when things change, people give a lot of pushback. But what's your thoughts on it? And I can give mine.
Yeah. It also like gained more like attraction because Chanale Fellig released a podcast.
So she's like a Jewish singer in the community.
Yeah, and I grew up on her songs. I don't know about you, but like, you know, Sister was like,
Sister, remember.
Yeah, I'm going to Israel. It's weird. You know,
I don't know that song.
That one's a really good one, actually.
I don't need a license, don't need a degree, 'cause I'm in the business of woman, you see.
No,
that's one of the songs.
Oh, I don't know if I like that message at all. I stay at home, man, not cooking, not clean. Tell me that's not the next lyric.
That's fire.
Get out. Yeah, she's definitely conservative and like in every form. But you know, I guess I'm more liberal minded in terms of like the kind of values that I think we all should be comporting ourselves with is obviously Yisrael and no judgment and acceptance despite, you know, what someone is doing that you might not be comfortable with.
Right.
Or that you might think is not right because it says somewhere in the Torah, which it kind of doesn't in this case, but like.
Right. But like, let's say even if it was even if boys, like you would have the same.
Absolutely.
Right.
I would still absolutely want those people to know that like they're Jewish just like I am Jewish and they have God in their life just like I have God in my life. And by no means am I like going to say the kinds of things that I think Chanale Fellig like really said very hatefully, which is just to me, which is like, okay, this is homophobia in like its truest form. You know, if you can't accept that, then like you are blind to your own biases. And I think she was being hateful, but I also think that it's important. And I don't obviously want to focus on her and like say her wrongdoings, because again, like I just want to support and I just want to send love to these people, to these two women, and you know, wish them the best and success in their marriage, and that they lead a Jewish life to however they see fit. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, I think if she didn't like speak up the way she did, it would have kind of blown over, like in everyone in their individual WhatsApp groups, and then like like, you know, because my family had a discussion on our WhatsApp group, but like it's pretty much like wow, this is so interesting. This is very different. Like, what's going on here? But like, we're not gonna go out and like be like, you guys suck, like what are you doing? Yeah, and that's kind of what she did. And like, it's interesting because in her podcast she was saying like, if my kid was gay, like I would support them, of course I would support them. And then she like goes on and like is like berating them, and like
she said a lot of contradictory
she was
things.
Being very contradictory, and I didn't appreciate the way she went about it, and I don't believe in that. Like I'm very much like live and let live. Like this doesn't really affect me, so why would I go out and try to like embarrass them or try to like put them down? Just to give voice to like one side of it, and we spoke about this, and I know you don't agree with this take, but like I do understand the side of it where you see in the secular world where it goes from this being accepted to people, you know, wanting to be called the pronouns that they want to be called, which I'm not saying that those people don't deserve the same rights as everybody else. I'm saying I think it's a little bit ridiculous to be like, everybody call me they, them. I see no point in it, but also I don't have that experience. So it could be I don't understand it, but it just like has that slippery slope of like, next thing you know, everybody wants to, you know, be whatever gender they want. And like we're teaching young kids from a young age about transgender, trying to encourage them if they want to be a different gender, that they should go and do the surgery, whatever. Like what we're seeing in the secular world now, where like it's very much a slippery slope and it starts from there. And so I do see the fear in the Jewish community where this is not something that was ever really public. Like if people would go and be like lesbian, they would usually become like not religious. So you would be part of the secular world. You're not part of the religious world to do it. And so this is the first time like you're in it's coming to the religious world. So I kind of see that fear. for people, for like their kids, especially the kids, like, you know, when they grow old, like what is it going to be like in 20 years? Are people just going to be like going around and like, yeah, like, let me just do what I feel, because what I feel is the most important and not what like makes sense. So I see that side, but at the same time, yeah, I don't appreciate the way she went about it. Like, I don't see why she has to get so hateful. Like, she could say a point without being hateful. You can say something that you think without passing judgment, and she's clearly passing judgment onto them.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, though, I don't know if you like, if you're gonna say a homophobic statement without vitriol and as much anger, then it's still a homophobic statement. And when it comes to a lot of like the points that people try to make regarding this issue, to me, like, what's undergirding a lot of that and what's boiling down there is homophobia. I know that there was a voice note that went out that from Chanale Fellig that I don't know if she intended for it to get out, but you know, specifically talking about explicit details of these girls and what they would be doing to each other in the bedroom,
right?
And you know that their marriage is only not going to last at all, and like, just obviously pure homophobia. She was
like, give it 5 years, they're gonna get divorced.
Oh, I think a couple months.
Oh, she said a couple months?
Yeah, like 5 months or something like that. And like, when you want to boil it down, I think that like that is what is kind of ruminating there. And I think that it's important for people to really confront those type of realities that exist, because I think that people muddy it up a lot. They muddy it up with like, no, we're concerned about this, we're concerned about the children, we're concerned about the slippery slope. It's like, actually, no, you're uncomfortable with people doing something that you are uncomfortable with. That's selfish. And actually, that might be the opposite of what you're supposed to be out here doing as like a Jewish person, like just passing judgment and being selfish and asking people to comport their lives in a way that would make you feel comfortable and secure. So that's
I get that,
but
asking. Like, at the same time, the Torah does have like rules. I'm not saying the girls specifically are because I guess technically two girls could be together, but
right, but that's also not my place,
right? But like, you're saying,
put
like,
on somebody else. That's God's.
I
so
agree.
let's leave it up to God.
Right, I agree. So, but like, meaning to say like, to encourage and say, oh yeah, this is amazing, and like, let's like make more weddings like this. Like, that's just against Torah. So like, I'm not saying that like I don't find confusion in that. Why does the Torah say that people who have an attraction to one another is like, it's not okay to be together? I'm not sure. But if you believe in the Jewish religion, then that's not okay. So
it's a
but
tricky
it's
line.
It's not up to everybody else to decide what other people do.
It was just
It's up
crazy.
to
It was
their personal
wild to
thing.
me that she was. Yeah, sorry for interrupting you.
No, that's it. Yeah,
It was
but
just
yeah,
wild to me
I
that-
totally agree with the way she reacted to it. It's like,
she also kept calling them selfish, which is so wild.
Yeah, she was like angry.
I was like, man,
at
like,
them.
do you not see the irony in this? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you're shouting at them that they're selfish while she's in the same breath saying that this is so uncomfortable for like everyone. Right. Like, what?
It's like it's only as uncomfortable as like you make it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's only as uncomfortable as you are uncomfortable with it. am I making sense? Meaning, like, way, it's only uncomfortable because you're uncomfortable with it. But like, they're not like going over to you and being like, please give me your blessing to have this wedding. Like, they didn't ask for your opinion. They're just doing their thing.
They're literally just living their lives.
Yeah. And like, nobody asked. And like, fine, if you want to give your opinion, fine. But like, the anger and like the judgment that comes with it, I agree, is like not really her place to have. And like, also like, even the voice note that got out, which she's like talking about like, you know, they're getting married for one. She's like being very explicit with like sexual activities that two girls would do to each other. And it's like, is everyone going to your wedding and thinking about all the sexual stuff you would do with your husband? No, nobody's thinking that. Like, there's no logic to that. Like, that's not what a celebration of a wedding is. Like, that you're celebrating what the people are going to be together.
It's
like
such
that, you know?
a reduction of like a complex and again nuanced, loving relationship that, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, it is, right? Like, these people are in a relationship with each other. They're having much more than just like sexual intimacy. Like, they're getting from this relationship a whole spectrum of fulfillment, right?
Yeah. I mean,
like,
we don't even know
from a relationship.
Yeah,
that's too gendered,
right?
So reducing it down just to like their sexual activity is so homophobic. It's literally just homophobia. It's literally just like, you're looking at two people and not seeing anything but the fact that they're both these genders and they must be doing this in the bedroom.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, man, expand your mind a little bit. Grow up. Right? Like, just grow up. It does make me angry a little bit because I think I see the fallout, and I'm very just empathetic to individuals who go through experiences like this. Now, if Chanale Fellig had this experience in the front of her lab, one of her daughters was going through this, I promise you she wouldn't have made such a podcast, because there's a lack of empathy. There's a lack of Ahavas Yisrael happening here, because it's far from you. It's not in my community. It's not in my home. Girl, are you serious?
Yeah.
That's not how we work. That's not how we work. If it's a Jew, you're my brother. You're my sister. Think about that. Have that perspective.
Yeah. Actually, she kept on bringing that up. Like, of course, I love them, but I hate what they did. Like, she kept on bringing that up. But, like, it was very clear that she didn't like them and, like, was very much passing judgment on them. And I think you can disagree with somebody's actions in a way more, I don't know, graceful way. Like, listen, we grew up our entire lives in a certain religion. This is a very big change for people. So, like, I understand the pushback and people being, like, shocked. And, like, I wouldn't judge people for that. But the hate that she had was, like, a little bit shocking to me. Like, why are you getting so
It actually wasn't
this?
So shocking to me. Because I think she's a voice for a lot of people who believe those things. And so it wasn't so shocking to me, unfortunately.
But there's like another step where you have to like go out and say it. Yeah. Is like you really have to like, I guess, care about it or
believe so much.
Yeah.
You also have to have like your personality has to be composited of a couple things. Like you've got to be abrasive enough. You've got to be like courageous enough. You got to have a platform. Like there are a couple things that were in line that like worked. Because it's ballsy to go out and say what she said.
Totally.
Because it's a bit like it's homophobic. You know what I mean?
Like,
so
I mean, I'm sure she got a lot of support from people around her because
she's in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Oh, she's in a vacuum.
And like people are, she got a bunch of new followers and people are like
echo chamber. That's what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah. So it might not be that ballsy for her, I hear but
you.
Like,
it might have been like, I killed it.
Yeah,
I just voiced.
Well, I'm sure she actually posted on her story like a little bit about people like giving her hate or responding.
Oh,
so she posted people who were like supporting her and like agreeing with her, and she also was like posting about like people who were like calling her homophobic and all that. So she definitely got pushed back a little bit, but I'm sure people in her lives are supporting her. Look, I think I understand having a hard time accepting it because it's very different. And it's a change, but I don't understand like the hatred that comes with it and like caring and not just like letting people
like caring so much
live their lives. Like it doesn't affect you. Let them do their thing and
yeah, exactly.
They're gonna live their lives. They're literally never gonna interact with you. Like
like now they're definitely not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and sure. I do think like she put so much more attention to it than there would have been if she hasn't spoken out like that. So
I'm kind of glad that she did.
But like she's like,
conversation.
The thing is like, obviously, like it was going around on WhatsApp groups before she spoke out. Like people were seeing it, but like, I think like she's so worried about her daughter seeing it, who's like a teenager now, and they're going to talk about it with their friends and they're going to discuss it. And it's like, I think that you focusing on it so much will make your daughter think that like it's such a big deal versus being like, yeah, some people have this and
like taking it the normal way.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, for me, I don't obviously want to add to the vitriol that's already out there and add more to the hate and like pass more judgment and hatred onto even Chanale Fellig, even though I disagreed with so many things that she said and like really are like vehemently detest a lot of things. That's what I see. A lot of people who are more like liberal, I guess you can say, and more empathetic. They'll even do that for people who like don't deserve it maybe at the like in the moment. At the same time, it's not an equal footing because, you have to side with the individuals who have to accept their identities and live their lives with like challenges that we don't understand that might be against Torah and like accept them and love them and not like jump on the bandwagon of judgment and hatred. Like I think it's important that we go in that direction of life. despite like how uncomfortable or how like much we believe in Torah, you know, that's
and also like it's like like if their parents were at the wedding and their parents are like that's all, it's between them and their family and I guess their relationship with God, you know, like it's not really between anyone else. And if someone else struggles with it, like they'll deal with it the way that, you know, they need to deal with it. Like obviously it's a real struggle. That's what I think people like. Some people believe that it's not real and it just, you know, it's comes from wanting attention, comes from like not experiencing enough life and certain things. Like, I don't know. I think it's a real struggle. It's a real thing to be gay. And like, it's like, can
you imagine like we live in 2023 and there are people that are just out there living their lives like in the secular world doing, nobody can give an actual F, like just be a good person and they can live like this. And then there are people in our community who like, no, that's actually not a real thing. Like, oh, it's like
you're just like trying to get attention,
arguing about the legitimacy of something like this.
Yeah. Like it's a struggle. So like let them deal with it on their own and like don't.
And it doesn't have to be, is what I think. I think that if you're somebody who has this, like accept yourself and love yourself, and that there are a large community of people that will accept and love you. And to me, like going the route of trying to change it or supersede it and like maybe going against that and just marrying someone regardless, it doesn't seem like a life of like happiness or like joy. And it just seems like you're going to be in constant battle with yourself. And I don't want that for that person. I just don't. I want that person to know that they're okay as they are and what they're doing and who they want to love. And I feel like God probably wants that too. I don't know. Is that a wild thing? I don't know. Like, it's just it's a very hard.
It's very confusing.
Thing to square,
yeah,
for sure.
That like that's something popped up.
It's fine. It should still work.
Is the thing moving?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
I guess. Yeah. I think we articulated what we needed to articulate about that, but like.
Have you been following the whole submersible thing?
Submarine?
It's called the submersible. I don't know why it's called that. But yeah, these billionaires that went down to see the Titanic.
Of course.
It's crazy how it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing such funny memes about it on Instagram and stuff. Dude. Like literally every other reel is about it.
Nothing more funny than five people's death and demise. Yes.
I mean, I guess people feel like justified to make fun of it because they're billionaires and like what are they doing, like going,
they're literally paid to die.
Yeah like you're also like what, to see like a Titanic from a tiny hole, like you know,
too much time on their hands.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been seeing a lot of people comparing that to the I think it was like the refugees from Pakistan dying on that ship, on an overcrowded ship that tanked. So they've been saying how it's crazy what our news focus is on. Was that called like the Olympia
or something?
The what was the boat's name you're saying?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Or is that something else? Okay, I don't know, whatever. Yeah. Oh, so there's like a different story happening where people died.
The refugees.
Like recently.
Yeah. Like at the exact same time. So people are like, wow, this is what we focus on. We focus on the billionaires.
Yeah. This is like literally...
I don't know why I made that voice. Like this is an actual... Like I don't mean to like mock this as like an actual genuine... Like,
yeah. I think that's like so telling of like the nature of just people, like in general. Like you're gonna make a news what is it called? News channel about
that
like
gets the most views.
Like make a news channel about like all the good stuff that are happening in the world, and make the news channel about like all the bad stuff. The bad stuff are gonna get more views than the good stuff.
We're addicted to it.
Or like, you know, the people who somebody who's like super rich and like having people are going to just like want to watch that more.
Yeah.
It's just like what's like entertaining more, I guess, is what people will talk about. Like,
in this case, they're both tragedies. So like, why is one getting more focus?
Because one's about billionaires.
Right. So people are like, that's disgusting.
There's just more
morally.
To talk about. There's more to like gossip about, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's necessarily because we're like more invested in the lives of billionaires, or if we're more, and we just don't really care about this whole refugee problem, because I think that's what people are like pontificating. But I think,
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, I think it's more like, because if you put yourself in the horror of what those people must have gone through in that tight disgusting submarine.
I think it's like the story of it. Like
right.
these billionaires all cramming into this like tiny thing.
Yeah.
They're used to living in their mansions. They're peeing in like one little bucket.
Literally.
And they're like controller. It's like a game controller.
I think $250,000 to be on that thing.
Yeah.
Would you go on that thing?
I would never.
You would never.
I have crazy claustrophobia.
Yeah.
And like fear.
Did you see it?
Like I didn't even go scuba diving ever, which like I want to do, but I'm a big fear of that.
It's scary. It is scary. But did you see a video of it getting bolted shut?
No, I didn't see.
It's literally terrifying.
So wait, the conclusion is that they're dead?
Yeah.
It
imploded.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. There's like sound of it imploding.
Apparently like there's sounds of like them like banging on the door or something
like that. Okay. I don't know if it's banging on the doors and they picked that up or if it's like some sort of signal that the submarine was sending out.
Oh.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I feel like it would be pretty locked in tight if they're like banging in it.
I saw someone and they're like, why can't they have just like attached a really long string to the surface of the water?
I so get that. That's what on my brain was like, I would just swim out. I would just swim to the top.
Yeah, that's what people were saying also. Like, why can't they just get out and swim to the top?
I was wondering what would happen if you got out at that depth would the pressure just like pulverize you in an instant?
Well, that's what it is. Yeah, there's so much pressure down there.
So like if you wouldn't be able to exist.
I don't know what would happen. You would implode.
You're not a marine like biologist, scientist or whatever.
But I heard that one of the billionaires, like their son, that was one of these billionaires that was going to go on it.
Their son didn't.
His son didn't want to go on, and he was like,
this.
I'm like. His friend like scared him about all the things that could happen. So this billionaire like messaged the CEO, and he was like, I'm trying to talk my son into it. He's a little nervous. He's like, let me talk to this like uninformed. Like he got all like sassy about it. Like some people are just uninformed about these things.
Oof.
Yeah.
In retrospect, that didn't age well. Yeah, apparently he did it because it was like Father's Day and he wanted to like be there for his dad. It was supposed to be an 8-hour journey. That's it. Apparently these things
down.
Yeah,
down and up?
Down and up. Like 8 hours in total. And it's gone many times before. Yeah, I don't know about many, but it's gone trips before, which surprised me. I thought this was like the first expedition.
Yeah. No, I've heard that it went like many times before.
So I'm wondering what went wrong this time.
People are like conspiracy theorists that like these people had like tax problems, so they just like fake their death.
Oh, come on, man. Like, the conspiracy theorists are on the case. They've got the answers, everybody.
Sometimes I'm a little bit conspiracy theorist.
Oh my girl, I knew it. You are. But like cut to you like 50 years later, you're going to be like, the government, the Illuminati. Yeah, everyone, you're going to live in like a bunker in Idaho.
JFK's alive.
He's my husband.
I don't know. Just delusional. Yeah, that's all the same thing.
I feel like they're one step away from delusion. A lot of conspiracy theorists. I'm like, you're living on paranoia land. Like, we know you.
Yeah, it's true. The clip of like, what's his name? Alex Jones.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm just retired.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
So funny.
What's his accent? Is he from Boston?
We usually Boston?
Bostonian?
I don't know
is
where
he's Boston?
From. No, I think he's like New York.
Oh, he's a New Yorker?
I think so.
We don't claim him.
I think just like that word retarded, it just sounds better in a Boston accent.
Yeah, but you gotta be careful with that word. I
know, but I'm not like
you're saying it in Alex Jones.
Yeah. I'm quoting somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, there was something else you told me you wanted to speak about.
Oh, like fitness influencers.
Oh yeah, fitness influencers.
I just wanted to talk about them.
What? Oh my god!
First of all, the amount of them, they're like tripling.
Do you ever see that guy V-Shred? He's
no.
So annoying.
Yeah, a lot of them are like incessantly marketing themselves.
Yeah. So always ads about him, and he doesn't stop talking. You think that this is the way to lose weight? No. And he goes on for 5 minutes. His ads are 5 minutes long of him talking about what you have to do. You have to
pops up on your YouTube channel?
No, on Instagram.
Okay. 5-minute ads on Instagram? Sorry. I know that's so annoying when you're like being sarcastic and someone's like, what?
So like one time I clicked on his link and he basically like goes through a video of like what you should do. That one's an hour long of just what his program is and like to take, and the end of it just like take a quiz to know your body type.
Right.
That's like the whole
Does
thing.
he explain any like fitness tips? Or
yeah. I know. Like the thing is just like about bodies and the metabolic
It sounds like you don't like him. And
I
like,
really don't.
You watch an hour video?
in the beginning, I was like really desperate to like learn how to lose weight. I was just
you were like this guy must be it. There's like millions of other people, but you're like, I've tried
everything. I've tried everything.
Yes.
I tried this app where they pay you. Did I tell you? They pay you to lose weight. You basically place a bet that you're gonna lose weight in like a certain amount of time, and then they pay you like if you lose the weight. So that was interesting.
Yeah, that's wild.
It's like a new idea. It's cool.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say the same thing that I told you last time. It's like, I feel like you're probably going about it wrong if like you need to get paid to lose weight.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, not sustainable.
That's really not sustainable. Yeah. Just break the glass. It's fine.
I'm literally I'm dying in here.
And our water's dwindling.
Like this is the only thing of freshness we have. It is so hot in here.
But we need to save the audio. We can't have the air conditioner
It's
on.
true, but like
it's for these folks.
Probably see our sweat.
No, you look sweat free.
Okay, fine.
Your face
I'll
is
take it.
mad as hell.
Yeah. Okay, so you just wanted to talk about fitness influencers.
I wanted to talk about fitness influencers, but I wanted to talk about I had this like epiphany a little bit. And it's a little bit of like a long-winded epiphany, so you might like
let's hear it.
Yeah.
People brace yourselves.
Well, it's like
lock
this,
yourselves
right?
in.
Okay. Where do I even start with this epiphany? Well, I think a lot of fitness influencers end up going on the journey of fitness and finding themselves through that journey. They find discipline, they find who they are, they find their abilities, they find their strengths, they find their motivation. It's an amazing, incredible journey for them, and at the end of it, they're more in love with themselves than they obviously started out to be. But I think there's a fallout of these kind of influencers that we don't really like address properly in our society because we're so consumeristic and because it capitalizes on so much of our insecurities, and that's literally what capitalism is in my head. But because there's such a lot of young women who do this type of thing, and their audience base is young women, young impressionable women who hate themselves and don't like their bodies, because from the time you're a baby to literally the time you die as a woman, you're constantly in struggle with your body and loving yourself and loving what you look like and who you are in the moment. I think it's culturally influenced. I think it's biologically influenced, but I primarily think that it's because we grow up in a society that like teaches us to really just not accept ourselves and love ourselves. And I think that the fitness industry kind of works in favor of that kind of that. So you get these young impressionable women who,
I mean, I'll respond.
Who, are like look in the mirror and they're like so desperate to see change that they like hop on to what these influencers are saying of like discipline and going to the gym every single day and eating a lot of protein and whatever messages they're getting. And instead of really taking a hard look at what is causing this need to like drive yourself forward, which is at the end of the day, the fact that you look in the mirror and you hate what you see. And so I think it's a rerouting of what actually needs to be done. And it just kind of pushes off the problem until like it actually has to be addressed, kind of. And I did have one other thing that I want to say about it, and it's the life of a fitness influencer. You have to understand what they're doing and literally what they're doing with their life. It's not something that you can just do unless
literally focusing their entire
life on it. This is their existence.
Right.
It's not something that you can do whilst figuring out who you are as well. It's like, do you want to be? Is this who you are? Is this something that like you think your journey? Because it was for them and it works for them clearly. Like making videos, eating 120 grams of protein every day,
right?
Hitting the gym 7 days a week. Like this works for them. Right? But does it work for you? Do you know who you are? Do you look in the mirror and actually love who that person is? My guess would be no. And so when you're going to go and try to live those kind of lives, you're still going to be the unhappy person, maybe even more unhappy that you are at the beginning of that. So that's my fight here with the fitness influencers.
Okay. I mean, I think that there's a very big difference between like we can acknowledge a difference between someone who's like needs to lose weight and someone who's like just like obsessive about their body always being skinnier and like you know what I'm saying? And so if someone really needs to lose weight and they find somebody who's like a fitness influencer or, you know, just like personal trainer or whatever, and they help them get there in their goals, like their lives are changed. Like you see people who are 300, 400 pounds and they lose weight and their lives are literally changed. They can move around. They can be happier. So I would say that's like the positive side of things. And even if you're not 300 pounds, even if you're 200 pounds and you need to lose 50 pounds, like your life does become, you become just more confident. And I understand what you're saying though about like it being kind of like a band-aid because, you know, maybe later in life, especially women, like when they give birth, they'll gain the weight back or like they'll like, you know, they'll go on birth control and gain the weight back. And then so everything was riding on your size and now you're gaining the weight back and now you hate yourself again. So I understand what you're saying at that point. What was the last point you said about? Oh, and then the second thing, that's why I think that like the whole approach of like doing exercise, eating healthy it should purely come from the standpoint of like just wanting to be healthy. Yes. And treat your body well. And working out is something that
comes from
like
a place of love for yourself.
Exactly.
So it's different.
Exactly. That's a good point. Yeah, exactly. So like working out is something that's like super healthy for you, let alone it'll make you feel like, I don't know if let alone was the right word, but
we'll run with it.
Yeah. It'll make you, first of all, it'll make you just feel amazing. It releases these, you know, chemicals in your body. Endorphins. And also it just makes your body like run healthier. So like those are the reasons why I think people should want to just like eat more protein and eat more greens and go to the gym and all that for like the healthy reason versus like, let me check every single day what's my number on the scale. Yeah. And if I didn't lose weight, I'm doing something wrong. Let me eat less calories. Let me eat more. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just something I wanted to add, but I agree with you. But like, I don't think inherently the idea of like fitness influencers is bad. I just think like, I think individually, like
is it nuanced? Maybe
it's nuanced.
Yeah, it's a good word. I
maybe
just keep thinking
it should be called "It Is Nuanced."
Yeah, I like that. It's a good title. I was just thinking about this.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, it's not like this is crap.
Right.
No.
The world sucks.
Everything is going to shit. There's this video I saw on TikTok of this. She was a bodybuilder, and so she's extremely sculpted. She like won a show, but there's a video of her after the show eating a pink frosted cookie, and she starts like sobbing as she's eating the cookie. It's like the saddest thing ever because she's like literally sobbing over a cookie.
It's crazy.
And then it cuts to her now eating the cookie, and the difference of where she is now she's glowing now. She's has fat on her body. She's not fat. Has fat on her body.
Okay.
But she's eating the cookie and she's just like smiling. It's like on a beach, and it's just such a like perfect example of like all that we just said.
Yeah. You're the one who introduced me to Mind Pump. I used to listen to that podcast all the time, and they spoke about this one thing. Like they would have people asking questions about like, yeah, like I've been doing so well now. Like I'm going on a family trip, and like there's gonna be like barbecue and like good food and bread. Like should I cheat? And like this one guy would always have the answer of like, listen, like what is like the trade-off here? Like you're gonna either gonna gain 5 pounds but have like an incredible weekend and enjoy like food with your family and like have a good time, or you're gonna be like constantly just like stressing out about what food you're eating and like barely be able to enjoy. And yeah, maybe you saved gaining 5 pounds. Like is the trade-off worth it? Yeah. And like usually it's not. Like just have like that balance in life. Yeah, like these fitness trainers, like sometimes it's crazy. Like
yeah,
it's like, there's like no out some days a week, 2 hours a day.
There's no like
sometimes people like no matter what time I go to the gym, they're always there. Yeah. I'm like, do you live here?
Yeah,
I think they do.
Yeah, they do.
It's crazy. They're always there. I go in the morning, they're there. I go at the night, they're there. Maybe they're just following me.
And they do it for a living. That's what they do.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Also, I saw one time in the gym, I couldn't like fathom it, but like just in general, influencers, if they're talking about influencers, like I was at the gym running on the treadmill and there was this lady, she was like about to run on the treadmill, but she had to set up her camera. So she's like literally setting up her camera. Her camera's right in front of her treadmill. And then she goes on her treadmill and she's like dancing to her music. And it's just like, whoa, like there's a camera behind every video that you see of like a mom watching their first step, their son's first steps, and like, or even like I'm trying to think of like a better example, but like somebody had to set the camera there basically.
Yeah.
Or like revealing that you're pregnant.
This is such a good point.
Yeah, like revealing that you're pregnant to your husband. Like you have to like set up a camera and then be like, I'm pregnant. Like
it's like such a good point. Like even it's like that awareness suddenly seeps in like, well, this is like manufactured in a way.
Exactly. Like even if it's like not and like you're trying to do it as natural as possible, it's like there's a camera there.
Yeah. Like even like you're thinking about this.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's that authenticity.
It's not as much as in the moment as it could be.
Yeah.
Like, so there's these influencers, and this is like, I don't care. Like, it's good for that. They're making money off of this, but like, they'll do like a day in the life, and like, they'll show themselves getting into the car and driving away, and like, they had to come back with the car to get their camera.
Oh my god,
because they set their camera on the floor to drive away. Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. Or like, I know that they do this a lot with the TikTok videos of people crying.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen so many videos of people, funny videos of people being like, can you imagine like the pre-record of this like
yeah, literally.
You know, like that's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
I don't know, embarrassing is the right word. Like do what
you want.
Do what you want.
Live and let live. Maybe that should be our live and let live in nuance. That should be the name of our podcast.
Yeah. Maybe we should just rename it.
There's there's this couple on YouTube. Have you heard of Matt and Abby?
No, they're don't tell me they like cheated on each other.
No.
Okay.
No, they're very much in love. They're having their second baby. But
I don't believe it.
Love is fake.
Love is fake. They all cheat. Men are awful. No, I'm kidding.
And there's just like so many videos of like her wife, and I guess she obviously gives consent for them to like upload it, but it's just so weird to me. Like she's pregnant now, so like there's this video of her like sobbing because she took a nap, and like she feels gross that she took a nap during the day, so she's just like on the couch sobbing, and he is literally just holding a camera and he's like, I'm so sorry, can I do anything for you? Should I bring you water? Like you don't see him holding the camera because it's from the POV, but like he's holding a camera in front in her face the whole time. There was another one where she was like literally sick, she got surgery and she's like throwing up, and he literally set the camera and was like cleaning up her throw up. Like it's just, what is that life? Like I cannot imagine. Like I try to make content for like, I'm going on a rant because it's like such a passionate thing about mine, but like
go ahead,
I try to make content for like the coffee shop that I do, and like I just kind of, it's so hard like to always be setting up a camera while you're like, let's say like I'm making food, like to always have a camera in the perfect angle and position to make the transitions. Like, whoa, that's a hard job, and it's wild to always have to be thinking about, let me film my kid doing this.
Exactly. Let me that like every moment in your life is a profitable moment.
It's kind of cool, but like,
it's not. You can, I think it's the biggest burden you literally can put on yourself.
Yeah, but you can like, it's literally paying for your vacation. So like you have to video like a certain amount of it, but like it's paying for, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like you brought in that example of like weighing, like what was the words you used from Mind Pump? The
trade-off.
The trade-off.
Yeah.
It's not a good trade-off. I would really probably not enjoy that. It's too stressful.
What do you think of like parents like doing videos of their kids and like profiting off of that? Like, do you think that's like immoral in a way?
I mean, yeah, I think there's definitely a conversation about that.
Right, because they're not really giving their kids a choice.
Yeah, kids can't give consent to something like that. And it's like a lot of them profit off of like their kids' emotional react. Like, oh, he was sobbing when we told him this and
or like,
this.
even if they do like a really cute thing and like,
yeah.
I agree. I think that like it's so easy to fall into that because it's like you have such a cute kid and like people love like watching like little kids do funny things. It would go viral. So it's so easy to use it.
Yeah.
But I think it's also like not the best thing to do.
You also don't know the emotional impact that because it's such a pretty new phenomenon. Yeah. Like what is it like to grow up? I feel like I've actually read an article on this.
Yeah.
Like to grow up constantly in the face of a camera from the people that are supposed to love you the most. It's like, do you start seeing them like, oh, you like really took advantage of me in this way? You know, like I bought this house. Like, I wonder what Ryan from Ryan's Toy Review, like when he grows up, what he'll think of it.
Right. But like these families, they justify, they're like, we're just like vlogging our like family, you know, we're just vlogging and like we're just posting it. Like how like people used to like vlog like their like home videos, you know? But I just feel like it's so different. It's not like that because you're profiting off of it. So it's creating this like especially since there's
business. Your kids are your business.
Yeah, like especially since there's so many like YouTube blog, like family YouTube bloggers. It's creating like a competitiveness. You have to post more. You have to make them like even better. And
exactly.
Like
you have to get
more reactions from it and like emotions. And it's like
make them more cute, make them more likable. I don't know, something.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, you're manipulating them in a way. It's not just natural. Maybe it is. Maybe there are just supernatural and like that's fine.
Those ones are probably not getting the most views. Like, you know,
maybe though.
Like these people literally like also they're like thumbnails. Like we had to do something very hard today, and it's like they have to put their kid to bed early or something.
You know what I mean? They've got like this very like unnatural.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. So I think you're right about like it's not usually the ones that are just super like natural that like don't really have so much fun to them.
You have to create. What is it called? I'm forgetting the word.
They're also so boring.
Really, I find them so entertaining.
Maybe? Is that what the word you were?
No, you have to something to see. Whatever, you have to create. That's another word for create. But like you have to create the video to be exciting. You have to create those environments for yourself. So like it's not as natural as it could be if you're just having a day at the park with your kid.
Yeah,
you have to video
Ryan's
them.
8th birthday.
But yeah, I do find these family videos entertaining for some reason.
Oh, right, Mr. Beast fan.
Oh my God, Mr. Beast is great.
Yeah,
is that it?
I believe so. Until next time.
Thank you guys for listening. I think that was a good conversation. Wow.
We are like
my
just
throat
killing it.
And
we're out of water.
We'll be retiring
and,
for tonight.
We are waterfalling our sweat down our backs.
Everything. We've given everything to you guys.
Right.
We've given our entire souls. I hope you appreciate it. Like and subscribe. This podcast is sponsored by Talking Photography.
Yeah.
I know it's laughing because I always say it in the same tone. Go to talkingphotographystudios.com, check her out, book a session, and go to her Instagram at Talking Photography.
Thanks for listening.
Bye, guys.